Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our masterclass. Super excited. If you are watching it live or you are on the replay, looking forward to hearing your thoughts, your interactions. Let me just, yeah. How are you today? If you drop in the chat, as I said, if you're watching live or you are watching on the replay, let us know where you are watching from. Let us know how you are feeling today, and what you're looking forward to getting from our masterclass. I'm going to be sharing the replay as well. So as I said, would love to hear how you are doing and where you are watching. So this is going to be very practical, a real practical session, how to work less and get more done masterclass. As I said, this is not going to be data for later. This is going to be highly, highly practical. I've got my slides, so they keep me on track and make I am delivering it for you today. All right, so I'm going to introduce myself a little bit as well, but I'm going to dive in. As I said, it's going to be a really practical section. So, is this you right now, or has this ever been you? Really busy. You're trying to keep all your balls in the air, and you have a to-do list as long as your arm. You are constantly caught up in firefighting. So something happens, you respond, something happens, you respond over here, and something happens, you respond over there. You might start off with your plan of the day, your plan of action, and you say, right, I'm going to focus on this, going to keep my head down. These are the things I want to achieve, but you find yourself pulled every single place. Is that ever you? You find yourself likewise in reactive mode. So again, it feels like you're on a treadmill, you're always going around that hamster wheel, continual going. Is that you? Has that ever been you? Let me know. The days feel like they are going faster and faster. Does it feel like it's only Tuesday, but yet it feels like you've gone through a whole week or a whole 2 weeks? Has that ever been you? And life just, is great, but it has those moments where things feel constantly like you are pushing water uphill. Has that ever been you, or is that you right now? Do you feel like you're working harder and harder and harder? You're putting more hours in, you're putting more in, but yet the money isn't comparable. You're not seeing the results you want. It just seems like you're busy, but not seeing what you want to see. Are you either of these people in the constant demands, constant, got to do this now, constant deadlines, so much competing, or you just get to the stage where you just feel like, I'm drowning? Is this you? Has this ever been you? It's definitely been me. Well, you are in the right place if you are ready for a reset. You want to slow life down. You want to evaluate. You want to be able to achieve a lot of things, but you want to do it in a really measured way. You want to be able to step back. Is that you? Give me a thumbs up, comment in the chat. Do you want to be able to prioritize you because you know that giving from an empty cup doesn't work? Do you want to be able to be in the full expression of who you are? And as the workshop says, doing less, but being really intentional, being more of who you're meant to be. So it doesn't mean that the quality is less, it doesn't mean the impact is less, but it means you are able to choose, you are able to be more intentional. You are able to really think, does that move work here? Does that move work? Rather than feeling like you're caught up in a current. Is that if that's who you want to be more of the time, all of the time, so you can focus on putting your gifts out in the world, doing your business in the way that you know it should be, then this is for you. I have created it just for you because I know I've done that. So this masterclass, as I said, we are going to be up to an hour. I'm not going to run over. we are it's going to be really practical. So get out a pen, notepad, paper, however you like to take notes, pen and paper, brilliant. And again, give yourself this time. I know that taking an hour out will be really difficult, really challenging, but try and give yourself this time. And if you're watching on the replay as well, again, give yourself some time, some space. We're going to have some exercises for you to go through. And you might want to be, as I said, if you're watching on the replay, stopping, pausing while you're doing the different things. Because as I said, we're going to leave with a really clear action plan, clear goals, and hopefully steps of how you need to move forward. So this is what you're going to get from this workshop today, this masterclass today. Get clear on your top priorities right now in your business and your projects. And again, I'm aware we might have multiple things we're focusing on, but again, think about the key things that we want to work on. And again, as I said, we're accounting for joy, we're accounting for ease, but also to really help you to make impact. We are going to be thinking about how you can grow and, as I said, make impact on your terms, not because someone else said, but really connect to what's important to you. This workshop as well as masterclass is going to help you to, I'm going to be providing some strategies and some ways that are going to help you streamline your processes, make things simpler, take away rather than adding more. We're going to talk about automation as well and how to make some really practical good decisions. Again, so you can achieve more, but again, you don't have to put in as much as the grunt because you are being intentional. Again, caveat, not taking away work, not taking away that things will need focus, but again, making sure it's smart to work. And as I said, so much of what we're going to talk about is about the power of simplicity. And again, so you have better work-life harmony. That's a big thing. We know as business owners, as I said, our hours can get longer and longer and longer. But again, it's so it doesn't become a habit, it doesn't become a way of life. And how to pull back if you are finding yourself in this place right now. And again, for those who it is of interest, and if I have your permission, I'll be sharing opportunities to connect further and go deeper into the work and working with me if you want to work together. So I'll be sharing ways on how we can continue this journey and how we can really start to, unpack. There's only so much I can do in a 1 hour masterclass, but if we're working together, if we are in a deeper container, as I said, and you'll be able to find out more about how we do that at the end of the session if you do stick around for that. But as I said, I'm going to be giving you tons of good value, things that you can work on, but it won't overwhelm you, don't worry. And as I said, you'll leave with a very simple action plan. All right. So here's a little bit about me in case you haven't heard about me, in case you're new to my world. So I help CEOs and business leaders who are juggling multiple priorities to create more balanced, sustainable, and scalable growth. So I know being in my business journey, but also being in my corporate journey and community journey about how it feels to be overworked, and particularly when you feel stuck, when you don't have clarity, and you are running from new shiny thing to new shiny thing. And particularly how, again, for me and a lot of the people I've worked with, how having maybe not so much systems, not structure, and as I said, just running for different demands and, feeling really scattered. I know how much that impacts. And I've had my own journey with burnout prior to starting my business, but also with starting my business. I thought some of those things, I've got freedom, it's going to be great. I'm not going to have any of those things, only to find myself burnt out, tired, missing on opportunities, and, a real lack of self-care. And again, as I said, I've rolled that back and had to really pay attention to that. Also, I've got multiple other businesses, a few other projects as well. So it's really key for me, again, to have some of those processes, some of those systems, and be really intentional. And of course, I do slip out sometimes, but again, having those structures, having those things in place have really supported me. And this is why I'm really, really, really excited about to be able to support my clients and those that I work with. Because when that is out of place, again or out of the way, it enables us to be really super powerful and really to make the difference in the world that we are called to. So I've been running this element of my coaching business since 2014. I've got an events business as well, which I launched in 2013. Again, various experience within welfare to work, education, youth work, hospitality, and working with charities for over 15 years as well. I'm passionate about community work. I volunteer with a few different organizations, over 10 years at board level. And this is also where the organization, the priority management also comes in as well. And I am really passionate, as I said, and I love drama, performance, and music. And again, that's part of my background. And as I said, I've had my own journey with burnout, overwhelm, and overwork, as you can imagine as well. So that's a little bit about me. As I said, we're going to dive in because this is going to be a really practical session. And I want to make sure that you get the best um, during this time that we have together. So here we go. So the first bit I want to start with is the importance of vision. And I just want us to, as I said, get grounded. We know that the morning probably might have been really busy, or if you're watching on the replay, you've probably got tons of things to do. So our vision, values, and non-negotiables and clarity of purpose is really, really important. And this is the first place I want to start with. So when we're clear about our vision, it helps us to maintain focus, even if we go off, even if we stray. Having that a really strong vision helps us to increase that momentum. And if we're growing our businesses, the more we work with other people, having that vision and that clarity of vision and purpose is the underpinning for everything as well. And as I said, in the midst of distraction, being able to come back to that why, being able to come back to that vision really helped us and gives us that sense of purpose. And especially if, as we're going as business owners, we can't see the end. But again, having that sense of this is where I'm aiming for, and being in that sense also of gratitude and appreciation, this becomes more important. So, I'm going to do a little exercise here. Get comfy. You can close your eyes if you want to, as well, if that again helps you get even more into it. So, what I want us to think about is what is your big dream, personally, professionally? So, fasting forward 30, 50 years, if that feels scary, think about 5, think about 10, think about even a year from now. But the furthest you can go that you can possibly imagine, think about, impact. So you're there, transport yourself there into that world. What impact, what difference have you made on the lives of other people? What's been your contribution in the community and the wider world, your world? It doesn't have to be massive, but your world. What difference do you really want to make? And feel it and get into that space of you in that world. And as I said, I'm going to pause for a little bit just while you are there in that world. Think about where you are. Who are you with? What does it look like? What do you see? What are the smells? Where in the world is it? What do you look like? Who are you being? Are you on a stage? Are you outside? Are you, what is your reality? What's your world for your big dream? Give a couple of moments to really reflect and pause on that. And again, it's really important to connect to our vision. As I said, it creates it creates that vision, keeps us on track. And actually, one of the actions from this that I implore you to do is think about having a regular practice around this. So let me pause and give you that opportunity for a minute. you're in your space, put some music on, something subtle, something that you can listen to, gets you in a great state, gets you wonderful, and allows you to dream. What's your business like? What's the people that you interact like? You're sitting and you're sighing and you're reflecting and you're thinking that you can see yourself in this vision. And if you're watching on the replay as well, would love to hear more about this and what are the interesting things that you are finding and discovering. All right, so I'd love to hear how that felt and some of your takeaways and shares from that. So, operating from a place of priority. So, this again, a little exercise that we're going to do here and a little process that I'm going to take you through. So, as business owners, there's always so much to do. There are demands, we've got marketing, you've got, all so much day to day, and depending on the nature of your business as well, you've got the actual delivery. So, you've got the front end things, you've got the back end, you've got the administration, you've got the finance. And particularly if you are a solo business owner working by yourself, or you have a tiny, tiny team, there's always lots to do. And you might have other responsibilities, whether it's a job, whether it's caring, whether it's family, and just day-to-day living. And as I said, we're juggling lots of hats as well. And again, it's really important that we are supported, but I know that can be difficult, particularly when you're by yourself and you think about finances and you're thinking about, again, all of that. And we find our minds so often consumed. And there's so many people that, may find themselves. I found myself in this place when we're busy, we're marking time, we're not necessarily doing anything that's actually moving the needle forward, but we're thinking our hours are so full, the hours are getting longer and longer. And as I said, we're wearing all of the hats as well. So it's really important to think about and really assess and audit, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the value of why I'm doing it? Does it need to be me? Does it need to be someone else? Is it this way? Could it be more simple? And we're going to talk about that. And as I said, I'm going to take the process that I use when I work with my private clients as well. So we're going to give you a little taste of what that feels like. So as I said, do, dump, delete, and delegate. As business owners and leaders, there's always so much to do. As I said, so much juggling, and particularly when we're growing our businesses as well. As I said, this is one of the things we go deeper into my business reset and my other containers. So take a minute to reflect, first of all, on the following. We're going to do a reflection first, and then we're going to go back, as I said, I'm going to talk you through a process that is going to help you as well. So ultimately, we're thinking of what we want to keep, what we want to do, what we need to get rid of in order to lighten our load. And get rid of might be not for now, but for later. Again, when we're making our to-do list, but we're being really intentional about why we're doing something in our business. So this might take you, as I said, you're going through now, give yourself a few minutes, but again, this is going to be something that will take, you want to give yourself a little bit of time when you're doing it, half an hour, amazing, an hour, amazing. But again, you can do kind of little bursts, short bursts, and go through maybe one question if you're doing this on an ongoing basis, unless it's really helpful. So first thing I want to ask is, again, ask yourself this question, give yourself time to reflect. How do you want to feel this year? So we're in August 2023. This rest of the year, this for the end of the year, this period over the next few months, how do you want to feel? What are the key words that come up? Joy, expansion, excitement, um, courage. whatever it might be. And they may be different for the different periods based on what you have moving forward as well. What are three main things that you'd like to accomplish and achieve? And as I said, we are keeping it simple. As I said before, there could be lots of things, but actually think by the time we get to the end of the year, by the time we get to this time next year, by the time we get to October, what would be some major needle moving things that you'd love to achieve in your business? What would you like to do? What would you like to have created in terms of a service, a product, however you work? And again, at the moment, we're not attaching any detail or meaning to it. So just write it down. Three things, you can put some detail to it, but it's not about getting deep. We're going to follow that um, in your CEO time as well. So think about what are some things that you'd like to achieve. And as I said, stick to three, maximum five, but definitely three. We want to stick to three, honor the three. Um, and that will help to keep streamlined, keep us focused, and keep us on track as well. So we are taking away rather than adding. And then again, as I said, it's about just constantly reviewing and thinking, right, okay, why is this thing something that's important to me? How does it help with my goal moving forward? So think about some ways that you would like to have fun, you would like to enjoy yourself, or some self-care and service that you would like to do. As I said, keep it simple, not massive. Three, five, one, just very few things. Again, so we can be really intentional, really focused about. Then the final question is, what ways will you grow or stretch and develop? You can think about it, as I said, on this month. You can think about it this quarter. You can think about it for a year. And again, the key is to just come up with some really few key things, whether it's three, whether it's one, but just very focused, very intentional things as well. Give you a few minutes to let it sink in a little bit more and to reflect and to really ponder over these questions. Because again, this is going to help to really focused in. And as I said, it's not that other things won't happen, but just initially in our minds, get us in that position of being really intentional, being really focused and kind of really backing the things that we want. So think about with your responses, with the reflections as we're doing, how will these shape your activity day to day? So, with the thought in mind of how you want to feel, the things that we want to accomplish, the way that we're having fun, ways that we want to grow and stretch, how would we need to shape our day? What would your calendar need to look like? Are there things that you need to start doing, you need to stop doing, you need to have more of? So, for example, if one of your things for self-care is running or walking, how does your calendar need to change? How do you need to give yourself time? If it is that you want to have, a break by yourself, or you want to maybe go visit a particular place, what is it that you need to do to, plan strategically to create that time? If you want to do a particular course, what is it that you need to do to schedule, to stop, to block your diary off, to go and book the course, those steps and those goals, but also thinking from a practical standpoint, how does that impact on your day to day and what you do? Are there adjustments that you need to make? Do you need to wake up earlier? Do you need to sleep earlier? Sorry, wake up earlier, sleep earlier, all of that, like adjust your sleeping. Um, how would that affect what you do? And again, what plans do you need to make? Because we know that we don't necessarily go, right, it's a case of put some plans in place. You might need to get some support. You might need to look in you something. You might need to research to be able to carry out some of these things. So again, have a little think about that. Again, if you're watching on the replay, would love to hear your reflections and how this is All right, so we are good for time, which is wonderful. So I'm going to go on, as I said, to the do, dump, delegate, do, dump, delete, and delegate. And as I said, this is a one of the exercises and the processes that I go into detail on in my business retreat and other containers as well. So this is just giving you a taste of what it feels like. But as I said, you can, you have the tools following this workshop to be able to take yourself through this process. And I'm going to give you an example as well in our next slide and in this next bit. So do. These are the things that are essential for the lifeblood of our business. We love doing, and it drives the business forward and it drives you forward. So what I want you to do is, take an example of the things that you do now, but also afterwards, and categorize them. Then we have dump. So the things that are not necessarily financially viable. So it's not going to bring you money. It's not really in your genius. It's not productive. It's not moving the business forward, at least not for now. So this might be something you think, right, I do want to come back to it, but at the moment, it just needs parking. There might be something that you're planning, a particular goal that you have, a particular area in your business. So you think, right, I do want to do that, start podcast, for example. I do want to do that. Don't really have the tools right now. Don't have the time. My audience doesn't necessarily engage. And actually, this is something I do, but actually not right now, because what I want to do is do this workshop. I want to produce this thing instead, you know, so something like that. Delete. These are things that might be time wasting. They have no place and they don't need to be done at all. But maybe you just been doing them to fill time. Um, and as I said, things may change in the future, but at the moment, it doesn't have not needed at all. It's not adding any value. So we want to park it. And as I said, it doesn't mean like it's forever off, but just now off your plate. Don't have it having headspace in your head. And I think that's the important thing as well, is when we've got tasks that we have hanging over us that we can't do, that we can't give away, that are not going anywhere. It stays in headspace, and that is also providing stress and taking up the energy as well. So again, we really want to try as much to clear the deck and to know what we're putting aside, to give it a time frame, a timeline, and know when we're able to pick something back up, but also accepting if we're not, which is really important as well. And that is what sometimes brings the overwhelm and the stress, because you're thinking about, I want to do this, I need to do this, I've got this on my list. Oh my gosh, I never seem to get round it. There are also things obviously that do. And even though we keep putting them off, they do need to be done. So again, that's a whole nother conversation, but there are a lot of things that can be deleted. And then delegating. Or delegate. So things that are better done in the hands of someone else or in a different way. So it might be a machine, it might be you, sorry, someone else. And again, it's something that will still move things forward, but actually you haven't got the time, you haven't got the ability to be able to do, and actually it would be better placed in someone else's hands. So, it might be that there's something you've got to create, a sales page, and you think, gosh, or website, or communicating to someone, and you think, actually, I haven't got time to do that, but that activity does need to be done, and actually, um, this is who I can get to help me in that process. And okay, so take a little bit of time, as I said, to write down particular tasks. Have a little bit of an audit. Think about your day to day or your day this week. How much of your calendar are things that are essential? Obviously, I know that we're solo business owners and this is a huge thing. So we're trying to do everything. But actually, there could be different ways to get support. There could be, ways that are financially easy. And just having, as I said, that brain space. It takes some time to go through your week, this last week, what you've got moving forward ahead, or what, your day looks like even, and have a little bit through. It might be that your things that I do, you color code it with a green. Your things that are dump, you color code it with a purple. Love purple though. Delete things might be in red, and your delegate things might be in purple, or sorry, not in purple, in blue. So you know that actually these are the things. And then it makes it so much easier, and less stressful as well. And you can then start a plan for the things that are dumped. Is it dumped forever? Is it parked for a little bit? Does it need a date on it? Things that are delegating it, who, how, why, what, and what's that process as well of doing that. Hmm. Okay. This gives us an example again to drill down a little bit more, and as we're reflecting, and this is what you can use as you're moving forward as well. So, things that you find really, really difficult and actually you waste time trying to do it could be your dumps. Which tasks take forever for you to do could be dumping. What tasks do you truly dislike doing could be dump or delete, depending on the nature of them as well. Actually, these could be dumps and they could be deletes. What's a nice to have but not financially viable or impactful could be a dump. What makes you truly passionate, things that are in your don't genius zone, definitely do. And things that will strategically bring you closer to your goals, enable you to make most impact, connect you with your audience or the people that your clients are. Again, some of that could be due depending on the nature of it, and things that need to be done but is out of your level of expertise, we delegate. So again, analyze your task, go through and think, um, where would you rate the different things that you're doing? And if you go through each um, task that you do or when you're scheduling and think, okay, right, where would I put this? How would I put this? And again, it helps us to really prioritize and think, is this something that I need to do? Is it, do I need to? Is it part of the process? Or actually, is it better moving this to someone else? Then that's a whole different question. Or is that what it is? So again, some questions to help you reflect. If you are, as I said, continuing with this, but again, if you're on the replay, you're watching live, would love to hear your reflection. Okay. So again, from the activities that we've just undertaken, and again, that little bit of reflection, we should now be coming to a point where we can start to question, are there things that you're doing that don't need to be done at all? So have you identified that from our exercises that we've just done? What tasks do I engage in that aren't essential but consume a lot of time? It could be the website design or building sales pages or putting certain things together, and actually think someone else could do that in like 5 minutes. Um, which leads on to the next question. So what of my activities could be done by someone else just as well, if not better? Are there things that you're doing at an all right level, but actually someone will be better placed to do that? Also, where do you have the gap in your skills or your knowledge that could be helped by outsourcing to an expert or bringing in more support? So again, this can be done by a number of methods, just necessarily need to be super, super expensive or super time wasting. But again, just thinking about that, and happy to share and think about some suggestions if that's what you need as well to support you. And then think about how is your working day or your week set up with this in mind, with these questions that we've spoken about, with the things that we have been discussing. Does it leave you enough space to focus on your mission critical task? Or do you always feel like you're firefighting? And again, it might take you a bit of a process, and you might have to put different things in play in order to completely be free, but it's about taking the first step. And even if that first step is just to go through these questions, go through the previous areas, and write down actually, okay, so I'm spending a lot of time doing on things that aren't actually that urgent, but actually could be done by someone else. Okay, you know, and think about as well, are you leaving time for play and fun? Because that is really important as well. The more we are going, it doesn't support us to be productive, and actually it ends up being counterproductive as well. So it's better to have that rest, plan for the rest, make sure that we are continually rejuvenating ourselves as well. And as I said, this is going to help you to really think about your priorities. So, and linking back as we've done. But again, to really think about this as well. Where are you focusing your time? And as I said, it's about defining the tasks that will enable you to achieve your key priorities. And just that note of 80% of your income will be generated by 20%. So it's about doing more and more and more and more and more, unless it's what you desire. But it's about doing the right thing, even if there's capacity and it's widening. But it's, being intentional. Why am I doing this? How is this helping? Even if it's just that, an opportunity. It is fine, but it's about you being in control rather than, being led to action. And again, it's going back to that idea of your and what it is, why it is you want to do what you want to do. So we're doing good. Wonderful. Um, as I said, we want to get this reconnecting and leveraging your genius is really important. And as I said, it's about being really clear about the areas strategically in your business and your life where you most excel, where you feel passionate, where you are, so alive, and will really help us move your business forward, yet minimize the overwhelm, but also allow for growth. So this isn't about not taking responsibility. This isn't about justifying why I stay in your comfort zone, but actually it's knowing and knowing and knowing yourself and being able to go deep in your skills, deep in your expertise. I think it will come on that in a minute, but and knowing those things that you do. As I said, our zone of genius consists of those tasks that you can do with ease and you enjoy. And it's where your greatest skills are. It's where you'll be most potent, powerful as a leader, as a CEO, as a business owner. Because these are the things that for someone else it will be stressful, but for you, it will be exciting, it will be stretching, it will be growing. As you get confident and as you, as I said, get really clear and really calm into this zone. So a little bit of an exercise here to help you to think about what your genius is. And as I said, this opens up space for further exploration. So what elements, what tasks, what activities in your business do you most love doing? What are you passionate about and can spend all your time? Are you someone who speaks? Are you someone that writes? What is it that you absolutely love doing? And the things that come so easily, naturally to you that you could literally really think about what those elements and think about maybe the last week, the last few weeks, this last month, maybe the last day, and go through task by task, maybe some key things that have really stood out to you. That you said, as I said, has come really naturally. Think about that. Really break it down, piece by piece. What was a moment if you're really grateful for that you really stopping and reflecting? What are some things in your personal life even as well that you're really passionate about that you can bring more to your days? Could be a particular kind of habit, particular hobby that you've got, but actually out of your work time, but you would just want to have more of this. Could be that you love walking, you love being in nature, and actually that's a really important part to how you start, continue, or end your day. And you want to definitely have 10, 15, 5 minutes of walking. It could be that you absolutely love art, you absolutely love music, and that's the thing that's going to set you on fire. That's going to give you that aliveness. So, creating a routine or part of your day that has music in it, that has art in it, that has creativity. It could be once a week, it could be, but that you factor time in for that. And again, that's really going to help us be, that priority management. And as we said, it's thinking about how you can go deeper into your genius. So you're not going wider necessarily, but you're going deeper, you're going more specialist, more niche. And again, that's filling you up as well. Or as I said, you're having more of the things that light you up, more of the things in your practice that help to be you. So yeah, would love to hear more about that. All right, we are almost coming to the end, but what we want to think about here as well, and this is another key foundational piece, is thinking about, as I said, your why, your vision earlier on, but thinking also about your mindset as well. That's a hugely, hugely important thing. You know, as I said, that clarity of vision, clarity of purpose, clarity of genius, that also helps us to be more confident, being able to, as the step back is really important, and not doing, but being able to move yourself back. And we know that fear will come up, but again, it's getting that sense of grounding. So when it does, we're able to be calm, we're able to, address it in a solution focused way, but also, allowing your emotions to, or feelings to process, to come up, to acknowledge them and not hiding away or suppressing. But at the same time, being, knowing why you're doing what you're doing and having that grounded um sense of, groundedness as well. But knowing your bigger picture. So things might happen in between, but actually my bigger picture is this, and that helps me to move forward as well. All right, and I'm up to almost the end of here. So thinking about simple systems, habits, and routine. So often when people hear systems, they think it's got to be really complicated, or when they hear automation, they think of really complicated things or routines or habits, and it's actually going to take away creativity. But what I found is actually it adds to creativity. The more structured we are, it's great for our self-replication, but actually I know, and I've found a lot of my clients find, even if they run from it in the first place, but actually the more habits we have, the more structure we do have, and at the same time lean into that idea of creativity, lean in to kind of that energy of openness, of fun, and all of that good stuff as well. So simple things might be understanding how and when you work best. Obviously, sometimes our schedules don't allow for that, but think about maybe the types of tasks. So if you do work maybe 4 hours, eight, nine till five, six, seven, or whatever it may be, where would you put, the things that are most focused? So you've got to write a proposal, you've got to create, you've got to do some admin, you've got to do some finance versus your delivery time. Obviously, we work with people, so some of that is, factored in. But think about, where would you put your shallow task? Where would you put your deep work? Like, where's the important? Like, where would it be best placed on your calendar to be scheduling those things? When, if you're on your own, for example, but you might have family or people that you share with or that are around you that come at home in the evening, but actually you need quiet time. So it might be that you need to do certain things during the day, or again, putting a boundary around how that works is really important. So it's again really about taking time to understand why, to be conscious, aware, and to put yourself in control as well. To also have, again, a really clear supported morning routine. So it might be prayer, it might be meditation, it might be reading that you do at the end, the beginning of the day, it might be journaling, might be exercise, it might be gratitude, whatever it may be for you, but something to really get you in that right frame of mind in the morning, something to get you in the right frame of mind in the evening, and maybe um, for midday as you're going through your day. Again, those things that start you in the best possible way. as well. And again, another one that's really important, and I've worked with my clients to create, is having a start work or a task transition routine. So it might be before we start, on a Monday, we go through planning, you set your intentions, you do some journaling. And it might be, when we're finishing or when we're transiting to a different task, we've got particular things that we do instead. It could be, ticking off of goals, going through a calendar, changing it to green for the things that you've done, red for the things that you haven't done, putting to the next time. It could be that you physically, if you're working from home, you change your clothes, you change your position where you are. There could be different things that you want to do. It could be that you do a 5 minutes of a gratitude. That's, how you transition at the end of the day or the end of a week. So again, thinking about doesn't need to be huge things, just very little things that can help you to powerfully start, powerfully end, and move to the different exercise or the different things that you might have to do. All right, and automation is something that we're going to talk about here as well. So there are lots of systems, there are lots of you know, where we can use technology, for example, even simple things like storing documents um, in a system in Google Docs, rather than having maybe manual paper files that you've got an automated online scan storage. It could be that you put all of your similar information together, you batch it, you keep it together. You could have an automated system for payment, so rather than, or for invoice creation, for example, rather than having to write it out or type it out, you have a system, something like Zoho or Zoom or what, where you put in the information and that automates it. It might be that you've got email automation, rather than having to manually use a particular system as well. So think about what are some of the repeat tasks that you can use, what are some systems that you can use to automate, maybe as well. If you're doing a lot of manual things, it might be that you're sending an email, they've got a particular email that you send to people, maybe boarding, and actually there could be a system to do that, which would save you a lot of time. And again, thinking about repeat tasks, you know, is this something that you can create a system for? Is it, you've got a particular way of onboarding and you might, right, follow this process, do here, use this link, do this bit. So if you give it to someone else, it's great, but also for yourself to minimize errors, to make sure I am spending 20 minutes, I'm going to use it like this, I'm doing this. Every time I perform this workflow or this activity, this is how it happens. Again, that takes away that decision fatigue. It takes away that, oh, well, how do I do it? Well, over here, which again can be really time consuming as well. And as I said, if you're getting someone else to help you, even better. Could be that there's a checklist, because it might be that, we know sometimes we do things and we think, oh, I've missed that out here. Oh, I haven't done this here. Actually, or the quality then varies each time. So standard operating procedures and processes are really key for saving us time. But obviously, making sure that the quality is right and you put in a system to check for errors as well. So, that's a key point. And again, don't be afraid of asking for support, getting help. Outsourcing is a really important thing, and there are different ways that you can do that. So finding a freelancer, finding an individual solo business owner that happens to, have a particular service that you might want. So buying in services is really, a really great way of getting help. So you don't have a team member, but what you do have is an expert that can do tasks on a consultancy basis, on an hourly basis. Again, there'll be different people. So that is something that is, definitely encouraged. But I know there's a thing around finding the right person being aligned to that as well. And do get in touch if you want any support around that and what to do. And batching your tasks and working in time blocks. So it might be, obviously tasks are similar. So you're going to do 25 minutes, you're going to do an hour, you're going to do half an hour working with each of these because it's similar. Like your headspace is in a writing space. So you've got maybe writing a proposal, doing some administration. Actually, it needs funding, it needs you to think about things in a particular way. So by sitting and putting those tasks together, it's saving you time, but also making sure you're in the right energy. So what I kind of implore you to do now is review your current situation. Think about again some of these points on here as well. And again, that should give you a really clear plan of action and what your next steps are and need to be, which leads us on nicely. So we're going to be thinking about 3 to 5 maximum. And as I said, make it really time bound. How will you keep accountable? So from the session today, how are you going to keep accountable so you don't sort of think, oh, I haven't done that, or it just drift? But 3 really key actions that you're taking away from this session and that you're going to commit to, really, really as well. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about it. And again, if any questions arise, do not hesitate to let me know or to put in the chat if you are watching on the replay. Again, as I said, this isn't data for later, so definitely think about a few things that you want to move forward on. So as we come to the end of the workshop, again, if you're watching on the replay, you have any questions, you can get in on this as well. If you're watching from the Facebook group or any other, as I said, place on the replay, definitely do send any questions or put in the chat as it comes up as well. So I wanted to share a couple of things. So first of all, my new website. So if you want to keep in touch, definitely sign up as a way to stay tuned and keep in touch of any information, works again. And as I said, if you do need support, and again, if you've got value from today, do share, whether you're live watching on the replay, do share with others, do point them in my direction as well. If you've got value, would love to hear what you're taking away from today, and your actions that you're moving forward. And as I said in the beginning, thank you if you stayed until this point. If you want to go deeper and you want to find out more about working together, you want to find out about how I can support you and the different containers that are available. I've got both one-to-one and group containers. Then I'm opening up a number of spaces on my calendar for some complimentary reset sessions. So this will be up to 60 minutes together, virtually, one-to-one. And as I said, this is for you if you're ready to take action. It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other more. You'll get a taste of what it's like to work with me. And again, if you're ready to work in a different way, you desire more clarity. So again, this will be a really practical session. Again, I'll share some steps and some ways that you can move forward. So particularly from today's session as well, if there are things that questions you have, things you want to implement, again, I'll be able to support you through that. If you are, as I said, someone who is ready to cut your to-do list, gain back extra time, grow your business without the overwhelm, and you want to know how you can create more time, more freedom, more impact, then I, advise you to book a session with me. And as I said, we'll look the best container for where you are right now. I've got a couple of different options. And again, it's, depending on where people are, the support they need, whether you need a blitz, whether you need something a bit longer, something more steady, then I can talk to you about. As I said, this will be an actual, a session of value. We will also go through some really instant things that you can switch up and you can change and apply, particularly based on what we've been talking about in this session today. So there is the link. I'll put that in the chat again for those that are watching on the replay as well. And what I want to do, let me stop sharing. I'm going to share a different screen for a minute because I want to share with you in the last few minutes, some superstar success stories. So these are people that I have supported previously. Just to let you know, a little bit about them, a little bit about how the situations that they have gone through as well. So let me show you. So here is Robert. Again, you know, someone very similar. He was a CEO or, you know, of a training and development consultancy. It was just him. So he's challenged, he's overwhelmed, he was doing it all alone, he didn't know how to prepare himself. He's got a vision, but again, it was feeling lost, feeling scattered. Not he's had so much he specialized in. He was really passionate, but he was doing it all alone. He was doing some things. He had a freelance role as well, so day-to-day role. He hated social media. He hated accounts. He hated finance. He didn't have anyone to help him, so he was putting them off, and things were, you know, not right. It was starting to affect his habits. He wasn't eating right. No time for hobbies, and just life was wild, you know. And it got to a point kind of where it come to a head. So or how I supported with him, it was again getting him back to his vision, making sure that he had a clear action plan. He had a clear, you know, we started looking at what do you need to outsource, where do you need to outsource, and I helped him with some of that, again to remedy those challenges. He had an action plan. He was able to go back to his vision. He said, this is words from him. My best result working with Selena was encouragement and inspiration. The process was fun and engaging. It helped me keep going and stick to the plan. It gave me foresight in what to do to fuel my business, where I wanted to go, and how to deal with the business and personal hiccups and challenges that may get in my way, and very encouraging. And I definitely recommend it. So it's very personalized. And that's the thing as well. We keep it personal. It's not copy and paste, but it's about you. But again, that's just from Robert. Again, another one here as well. Oh dear. So Selena was able to help me get clarity on my priorities. Ooh, help me get clear on my priorities in life and see what I had to do to move forwards when I was feeling stuck. I've been in personal development for a long time and interviewed many experts for my podcast and found Selena's approach to be down to earth and practical rather than philosophical. Her questions helped me broaden my thinking and suggestions were actionable rather than vague. I would recommend her coach. So we've got other people here. So Selena supports you. Again, multi-passionate, multiple business owner. Was doing a lot of great things like real leader in the field. Helped me to work on my business over the year has been amazing. She worked in my longer containers. Really helped me to focus on prioritizing. With her encouragement has been invaluable. My has now turned into an hour for a session. Still implementing a lot of stuff, but I feel more organized and on track. I just felt overwhelmed and was not taking care of myself, and it showed in other areas of my life, including my biz. I'm actually working at a slower pace, more done. I feel exhilarated and ready to implement my goals. Had a great session with Selena. It helped me clarify overwhelm at the time and move for a clearer vision for my next step. And again, just the final one. Before we started, I was stuck in indecision and confusion. The process of working with you was warm, inviting, useful, eye-opening. And the best was new ideas on how to develop my skills and expand my audience, both online and in person. Your advice was enlightening and priceless. More, again, stuck in indecision, didn't know what to expect, managed to compartmentalize all the things, going on to clearer themes, which has allowed me to structure my time more effectively. I can determine whether I'm focusing on my business, my personal life, my day-to-day job, or my studies. Someone with loads of stuff. Um, and that was just a 2 hours in my business retreat. Um, and you've been supportive, and in maintaining a calm, relaxed persona during all sessions. I've really enjoyed the process of writing everything. out, then explaining it, the say it out loud process has helped me really cement it in my thoughts and has given me more clarity. Um, I would clarify the ideas and realize from the masterclass that delegate at the beginning can bring more results in the development of a business and reduce stress than waiting to develop to have results and then delegate. So those just some of my superstar success stories as well. So let me just get to the end. So thank you for playing along with me and being part of this workshop. It has been a great pleasure to deliver to you today. I'd love to hear your takeaways and just checking in. So we've spoken a bit about priorities, definitely, how you can move things forward. We've looked at how we can streamline processes with automation. We've spoken quite a bit about the power of simplicity. I've shown you what Superstar shared with you, Superstar success stories as well. So again, just to say thank you very much. It was my absolute pleasure to be with you for this hour. Yeah, over 2 minutes. And as I said, those that are on the replay, you can still book your sessions as well. So again, you'll have the recording, you'll have the replay and the links to be able to do so. And if you've got questions, you've got some comments, again, would love to hear more from you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and look forward to connecting more. And thank you for spending this time. Bye.